Welcome to PT Chit Chat.
Payment, we're finally doing this,
I
man.
know, right? Let's
Oh
go.
my gosh, finally. We've been talking about doing this podcast for so long, and now here we are.
It's about time, man. How you been?
I've been good. How about you?
Shoot, good, man. Should we introduce ourselves or what?
Yeah, I guess that's kind of important. All right, you go first. You go
All right,
first.
guys, what's going on? Some of you know me, some of you don't. A lot of you probably don't. But my name is Payman, and I'm a physiotherapist here in Canada. I went to school with Nico. Um, we went to Dual College together, and we decided to do a podcast, right?
Yeah. And like you said, my name is Nico. I went to school at Payment in Duval. That's in Buffalo, New York. I did my undergrad also in Buffalo. And we're two physical therapists that we just want to talk. We just want to talk about physical therapy and stuff like that.
Dude, I love how you say physical therapy, and I'm out here saying physiotherapy.
Oh, that's right. Canadians call it physio, right?
Yeah.
Actually, Payman. So for the viewers out there, we both have our doctorate, but in Canada, you guys can't call yourself doctors,
You
right?
can't call yourself doctor because it's a master's program, right? So, but we can still sign off as a DPT. Like you can still say you have a doctorate, but you can't actually say like you're a doctor. So,
Is there a reason for that?
because they don't have a doctorate program here.
Oh, because it's a master's program
Yeah, it's
in
a
Canada.
master's program in Canada. So,
Oh.
so here I am saying Dr. Nico de Bados, and here I am Payman Cham DPT. You know, we're the same thing.
I mean, no, you're still a dog. I mean, honestly, so that's a good thing to talk about. Have you ever worked in the States?
No,
Okay.
I came straight to Canada, but maybe we should talk a little about why we're doing this podcast so the viewers have an idea what we're doing this for instead of jumping right into the meat, you know?
All right, you go ahead. Why are we doing this? Why are we starting a podcast?
Man, here's why I hit up Nico one day and I said, hey, let's do a podcast. I just feel like there's just not enough awareness, you know? I feel like there's not a lot of people know what physiotherapy or physical therapy is about. And funny enough, actually, yesterday I was on Reddit. I came home from work yesterday, right? I'm going off topic, but I came from work and I read this Reddit post and there was this girl, 30 years old, trying to like get into PT, right? And she didn't know what to do. Like she legit didn't know where to go and what to do. And she's like, hasn't done undergrad out of high school, but she loves PT. So you know what I did, man? I went on a Discord call and explained the whole thing for her.
That's good for
And
you.
yeah, man. So here I am with Nico. We're trying to spread the word about PT, advocate PT, get the public informed about what we do. And maybe possibly some of the students out there who want to get into PT, and maybe we can give you some knowledge. So
Yeah, and this is just a very casual podcast, hence the name Chit Chat. We're just
chitter chatter.
We're just gonna be talking and just hanging out. Stuff that we're gonna talk about. We have asked people what they want to hear, and so we'll touch base on that. We've reached out to Reddit, we've reached out to social media, so we have a lot of stuff to talk about in the weeks coming up. We're not gonna hit all of them, but we're gonna try our best.
Yeah, honestly, it's not. It's just supposed to be a casual conversation that we hope you guys enjoy tuning into, and that hopefully in the future you get to contribute a little bit into the podcast as you listen in.
So Payman, what? So we graduated together, right? What have you done since then? Where have you worked? Where are we right now?
Oh man, what a journey! I think it's been 2 years now, right? 2018 May is when we graduated.
Yep, May 2018.
Yeah, so I came to Canada, and obviously the New York license. Like I did my licensure in New York, got that done. Came to Canada. Obviously, it doesn't transfer over, so you got to do the Canadian license, and you got to do the. And to do that is a two-component thing. You got a written exam, and you have the clinical component of it. So long story short, I got my Canadian license and I looked
So
for
you can practice in two countries, right?
pretty much, yeah. So I could cross the border, and I've been keeping my New York license up to date. So I've been doing those continuing education courses. So
very nice.
Yeah, got to maintain that doctor title, right? No, I'm kidding.
Very nice.
Yeah, so I came to Canada, did the license exam, passed it, and then I looked for a job right away, and I started working in a clinic that was just starting up. Left that shortly after 3 months to look for a new job. And then I worked in a different clinic again. Then I found another job and worked in two clinics together. And most recently, I'm at actually at LifeMark, so at a bigger company, and I've been loving it there. So
Is that an outpatient clinic?
outpatient clinic. So I've only done
Very
outpatient
nice.
stuff. I
Okay.
haven't done any acute care.
Okay.
It's not my interest per se, but I know Nico's done a little bit of acute care,
Done a
um,
little bit of everything.
and inpatient, but outpatient's where I've been working so far. So
Very nice. So, I'm a traveling physical therapist. So I graduated May 2018, and my first job was a travel contract. So I've worked in Wyoming. I've worked in North Carolina. I've worked in Alabama, and now I'm actually back in Wyoming right now. So, like Payman was saying, I've worked in the hospital. I've worked in outpatient. I've worked in nursing facilities. I've kind of done it all. I
But
haven't
Nico,
done.
you're an outpatient guy,
Oh,
right?
I love
You're an outpatient
outpatient.
guy.
I love outpatient, man. I love ortho. That is my bread and butter. That is where I thrive. But with the traveling thing, I do it more to kind of just experience different cultures and experience different places. So I don't mind working in acute or nursing facilities.
Well, that's because you're all about traveling and last minute decisions and no plan travel and like
Yes,
whatever.
that's right. I am not a planner. I just kind of go with the flow and
So
just see where
so
it takes
the
me.
traveling kind of suits you, whereas I'm just like, ground me to one spot. Let me do my thing here. I'm happy.
You're happy. So with it's been kind of hard to be grounded though with the whole pandemic going on.
Yeah, pandemic's been honestly a little bit rough, but all you can do is kind of smile sometimes. Honestly, like obviously we shut down in March. I think the
Okay.
States, did you guys shut down in March?
Um we a lot of things did shut down. I know New York City went on a lockdown. I was in Alabama in the nursing home when the pandemic started in March. So
Okay.
so
So
we
you
didn't
guys
really
didn't
shut
really,
down.
yeah, no,
No, not
they did a
really.
complete lockdown here in Canada in March, uh, till June actually. So that was a bit rough. And then when
So you weren't were you working?
no, we were not working, complete lockdown, right? And then we came back into it, and the clientele was a bit lower to start off
Hmm.
with, but it's been picking up. I think a lot more people realize that we're following very strict measures and guidelines, and we're keeping everybody safe, right? We're maintaining all those social distancings, and we're
Hmm.
literally wiping tables nonstop. I got the goniometer in one hand, and I got that I forgot that side. I'm gonna say Excidal because there's something Sidal wipe on
Something
the yeah or
cap
something
cap
side.
cabicide, I
Is it
think.
cap? Oh, yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah,
I'm
cabicide.
not I'm not
No, no, no.
100%
That's it.
sure.
It
That's
sounds
what it
like that.
is.
Yeah.
It sounds like it,
So I
right?
got the other wipe, and I'm just like clean, clean, clean measure, clean measure. But or here's a stretch and clean. But yeah, no. It's been okay.
Okay.
Uh, as far as like the volume, we still see a lot of people, surgery patients. I will say though that I think the hospitals are obviously overloaded with COVID clients. So having said that, I think the surgeries are put on hold for the most part. It's not
Yeah.
as frequent. I don't know if it's the same thing in the States, but
It's the same thing. They held off on the elective surgeries just because they didn't want to get the hospital super busy with everything.
yeah, that makes sense. So it's been a little bit rough in that note, but hopefully we'll all get through this. But I think the floodgates are going to open on my side where we're going to
Yeah.
have too many people, which is always it's a good and a bad thing, right? It's a fine balance that we can kind of talk about later, but
So how else has the outpatient changed? So I know, the patient load has fluctuated. What kind of patients are you seeing right now?
honestly, it's pretty diverse. Like private patients, anywhere from like your typical neck pain to you got people, surgery clients coming in. Uh,
Hmm.
you got, mixture of geriatric and adults. Obviously, I don't really see kids per se. Pediatric is not my expertise. Uh,
Me either.
we all pick our fortes, right? And that
Right.
was not one of them for me. So, but yeah, no, it's just a mixture. There's no real like I wouldn't say like, oh, I'm only seeing there's only geriatrics and it's only like back and shoulder pain. It's
Hmm.
all a mixture. Yeah, there's no real like cookie cutter. Yeah,
Okay.
but how has COVID been like for you? Because you're traveling, and I know with traveling, they shut you guys
Oh
down for a
man.
bit, or they stopped it, or the volume went down, right? Something
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. So, the number of travel jobs went down significantly. Um, I think it went from like 300 plus And then at one point there was only like 40 jobs in the nation. So that was a little rough. But thankfully I was working in a nursing home down in Alabama, and honestly it got pretty bad. Lost a lot of patients, lost a lot of residents, and it was tough. And then it was tough, the patients and the residents that lived there, they got lonely, and it was hard. I actually needed to take a mental break after. I took 3.5 months off from work because I was just like, I needed to restart.
Honestly, I think the moment you took the mental
Yeah.
break was when we were all in lockdown in Canada.
Yeah,
So
really.
I think that's when we all connected,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, man. I needed a mental. I was so burnt out. Um, and it was tough because everybody, since it's all new, everybody was just thinking about new plans, and everything was new, and things were changing every day, and just, there were things I didn't agree with, and so it was rough. So I took some time off, but now I'm refreshed, I'm ready to go. And I'm working in a hospital right now, and we are still seeing COVID patients. um, but it's a little bit better. There's definitely a difference between working in a hospital and working in a nursing home. So I'm really happy about where I am right now.
So how has it been for you though? So like we talked about how you're like an ortho guy, right? You're always that
Yeah,
ortho guy in
I
like
know, I
in
know.
school, and you kind of ventured into the travel PT aspect, kind of maybe touch base on like, why did you do that? Like what made you want to do that?
Well, I've always wanted to. Okay, so I've lived in New York for so long. I went to undergrad in New York, 4 years undergrad, 3 years grad school. And so I needed to get out. I didn't want to stay stuck in one place. We have 50 states here. Why I wasn't gonna stay in one of them for the rest of my life.
Nico, how many provinces do we have in Canada?
7.
And I don't even know how many we got. Sorry for all the Canadian guys. Is it
Oh,
13? Do I
oh,
have to look this up?
oh man! I thought it was. I had so much confidence. I don't
It's
know.
not 7. It's way more than
I
7.
think it's more than 7. I think you're
Uh,
right.
wait, it's 10 provinces, 3 territories. So I guess 13 is kind of accurate. Never mind. I'm good.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
clean.
yeah. I'm not Canadian, so I wouldn't know. So 50 states in America. And yeah, man, like I didn't want to stay in one place, so I wanted to see what else was out there. Learn different cultures. The culture from down south is different from the Wild West. That's different from the Northeast. And I just love meeting people, and honestly, that's why I did traveling. I also want to pay out my loans as quick as possible. um, so as of April 2019, I consolidated and refinanced my loans, and I started out with 120,000. So that was after paying it off slowly, but then that's when I decided to take it seriously. So 120,000, April 2019. It is December 2020, and I think I'm at like 38,000. So
Wait, actually, eh?
yeah, actually.
There you go,
So
guys. Travel PT is the way to go.
so my goal is to get it done by next year, hopefully.
Hopefully, right?
I've kind of been slacking a little bit on it, but
Well, you just got back to work again, right after that mental
yeah,
break. So you're just
yeah,
getting kind of back into it. And here we are already spreading news about physiotherapy and physical therapy because that's what we do here, right?
that's what we do.
Because that's all we're going to try to do, and get that. I can't wait for the upcoming podcast where we're actually talking,
About different topics, right?
about why is what do we do, right? What do we do, Nico? Right? It's not just do we just do leg kicks all day, or what are we doing?
or can you put that electric stuff on me and make me lay down, right? Like, because that's what people think we do, and that's not really what we do.
Or do we think maybe a 4.0 GPA in school is all you need to be a good therapist, or is it more to it, to it?
That's actually a really good topic. Let's talk about school. I think, for our first one, let's talk about school. How was school?
I thought school was great.
So explain your undergrad, like what do we have to do to become a physical therapist?
Okay, I don't know what you had to do to become a physical therapist.
Okay, what did you have to do?
Maybe I'll tell you about what I had to do to become a physical therapist. I had to do a backflip off the balcony and then land on my feet. And then
I landed on my head.
Sprint 100 meters and hopefully did it in under 15 seconds. But in reality, really what I had to do was I did my undergrad in kin, so there's a lot of prereq courses. Um,
What'd you
I
do your undergrad in?
Kinesiology.
Okay, kinesiology.
I think that's pretty common for most people. Some people come from biology. In Canada, it's pretty common, anyways. But nonetheless, did it in kin. Uh, didn't really want to be a physical therapist to begin with, to be honest. Was aiming for med school. Plans changed, but funny enough, I took an athletic therapy course
Uh-huh.
and I dropped it like I think the second month because man, I just can't like when like someone puts like a slide and you have
Uh,
like they'll say like indications, right? And they'll
uh-huh.
list and list and list and list. I
Why you
am
should
not
use it.
yeah. And I look at that, I go, wall of text. I don't know what you're talking about, right? So
Oh man,
I
that's
hate
good.
memorizing that stuff, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that's all that course was. That's what the guy did. But I dropped it. I was like, I can't do this. Put me in stem cell research, put me in neurophysiology, put me in anything but that. But sure enough, yeah. So physiotherapy. I mean, I played sports my whole life, so I've been to physical therapy. So I knew
Mm-hmm.
that I knew what physical therapy was about. And then after university, I kind of volunteered for about 6 months to really figure out like I wanted to do this thing, right?
Okay.
I literally volunteered every day, as an assistant, not assistant, but kinesiologist. At the time, I can't be called that anymore because they made it like there's an actual board for kinesiology now, so you have to pass a license for it. And I haven't, so I haven't done
Yeah.
it. But yeah, so try to get into Canada, didn't happen. Life happens, and sometimes it steers you in different directions, and you get to meet wonderful people like Nico, right?
That's
Gassing you up a little bit,
I
but
know, geez, it's too early.
but so then I applied to Duval, right? Um,
And that's in Buffalo. Buffalo,
that's
New
in
York.
Buffalo, New York. Didn't know what to expect, but it was good. It was good. Essentially, you need an undergrad, and you got to do prerequisite courses, and you got to have passion. Like if you don't like this profession, um, if you don't like working with people, and you can't connect with people. I'm not saying you can't pull it off, but
It's hard.
I think to make a real difference in people, I think you need to actually be able to connect and have passion in the field, right?
Yeah.
So that was kind of my route, undergrad to grad school. Failed in Canada, applied in the US.
Mm-hmm.
Should have applied to Duval a lot earlier. Honestly, after my first year, I tried after the first year and I failed the first year, got waitlisted, and I said, there's no way I can be this stupid to not get in here. Let me try one more year, right? And sure enough, I guess, was that stupid. I didn't get it. So, so no, it's funny enough, man. I actually one time I was talking to Dr. Miller, right? And
Uh-huh.
I go, man, I really must suck to like get into, not be able to get in Canada and like get into the States, right? He
Uh-huh.
goes, man, he gassed me up. He goes, if you're Canada's like C tier, we'll gladly take you.
Oh, Dr. Miller throwing down the smack.
Oh man. I mean, he said it in a good way. So,
Right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
I don't know if it was a good way and a bad way in a way, because but then it worked out, right? It worked out. So
Yeah, man. Dulo was a great school. I highly recommend it. We had some really good teachers.
we really did. Honestly,
Yeah.
it was a good experience. We had a fairly decent class. Um, no short of dramas, but this is not what the podcast is about. But it was a great class. You know.
But it can be if you guys want to hear about the dramas. No, yeah, I really enjoyed and I felt super, super prepared. I know some people they're scared of traveling or whatever. They feel like they're not ready, but when I graduated, I was like, I'm ready to go. Like, let me see patients. I'm ready.
Right. I honestly feel like our school, obviously we're not sponsored by Dual College. We're not getting any money for this. But
Actually, Duval keeps asking me for money.
oh yeah, they have been. I'm like, you're like, dude, I got debt, and I'm here like, dude, I just started. I can't really.
Yeah.
But maybe once we become millionaires, right, we'll help everyone out. But Dual prepared us well, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Seriously, they really did. I love the teachers, and I'm friends with a lot of them. I still talk to them, so they're really nice.
but the other thing with school was, I will say, like, the social experience was everything. Is great. Um, The school was great. The social experience was great. But personally, man, like I know you said it prepared us well, but first clinical placements, I go in and I'm like, oh man, I can diagnose everything about you. I don't know what to do for you. It's like, okay, here you got a shoulder impingement. Oh, boom, Hawkins Kennedy test, Nearest test. I got you, right? But then it's like,
Now
oh,
what? Now what? What do I do with this?
it's like, Jill, he's got shoulder impingement. Help this man out.
What do I do? What do I do now?
Right. So it's like, now what? So I personally felt that was the one thing that was lacking in our program of like, but that's something you learn with experience. So I can see where
Right.
that's not that's your own approach. Like that's
Right, because you don't want a cookie cutter kind of thing, you don't want to be like, oh, all shoulder impingements, I got to do this, all back strains, I want to do this, you don't want to do that.
I don't know what you're talking about. I got a recipe book back there and it just says I go to page 3, page 4.
Payman's exercise guide.
my Google sheet of Control F shoulder impingement, and there's the list, right? And that's really not it.
Hey, let me get a copy of that.
No, but that's a good topic though, man. Like physiotherapy is an art.
It really is.
It's an art, man.
Ooh, I like that.
It's an art.
Physiotherapy is an art.
Honestly, like you got to paint your, like let's say you got a bunch of crayons, right? And let's say those crayons are your, like, listen man, those are like your PT techniques, your toolbox, right?
Okay.
For all the PT people that there, let's say you got a shoulder posterior glide, you got that hip, inferior glide, and you got that, thoracic PAs, whatever, right? Let's just say you have all these methods. Throw IFC in, throw exercises in, right? Patient A comes in, you give maybe yellow, green, orange, right? Patient C comes in, you give them blue, purple, whatever, magenta.
Right.
You have these toolbox and you just kind of use them as, the patient comes in and you cater it to them, right?
I love that, man.
So,
I love
like,
that.
man, physiotherapy, man, nothing is cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Nothing is cookie cutter.
Because everybody is different, every shoulder injury, even if it's the same diagnosis, everybody's going to respond differently. You shouldn't do the same exercises for everybody. It's ridiculous. And I see it a lot though. I do see it a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to, make the same recipe than it is to make your own, right? If you look something up, it's a lot easier. Man, I don't know how it is for you though. Not gonna lie, there are we talk about this every day. There's patients that come in with me, and I'm like what's going on, right? Because it doesn't always work the way you want it to.
I know. There's textbook and then there's real life.
Like somebody, like let's pick a simple one, right? Biceps, right? Oh, resistance testing is painful, and then passive is painful. You go, okay, he's got a bicep strain, right?
Right.
Now all of a sudden, what if one is painful and the other one isn't, or a mixture in like triceps, or there's a whole, like back is the major one. Someone bends forward, it hurts. Someone extends, it hurts. They bend side to side, it hurts.
Everything hurts.
And school tells you, you know what? Pick the one that doesn't and go with it. And everything hurts. So here you are, you got to manage this patient. What do you do? Right? What do you do?
And that's why therapy is an art. Like,
and that's why therapy is an art.
Yeah.
That's why
you have to constantly be thinking, constantly on your toes, constantly have to change things on a dime.
Right. And that's where physical therapy is great, right? We are trained to think and diagnose the problem, right? Granted, we don't have X-ray and MRI, but we're pretty good at figuring out what's going on.
There are some therapists that can. I think if you work...
is it Florida that has X-ray?
I'm not sure. Some states might have it.
Florida has it.
I don't know, man. And I think if you work in like the army or something, like those types of therapists, they have more power, and I think they can order X-ray.
Gotcha.
But most therapists, we can't order any imaging.
But we're pretty good at figuring out what's going on even without it, right?
Right, because we don't treat the image, we treat the patient.
And how many times have you got to, like, I mean, I get ultrasounds all the time that say supraspinatus, tendinopathy or tear. And then here I am testing a supraspinatus and it's showing like 4 out of 5 strength or 4+ out of 5. What's going on? Right. So, it's, imaging is useful as a backup, but it's not the end all, right?
I agree.
But Yeah, man, that's why physiotherapy is great. We just, I feel like we're just so good at figuring out what's going on. We're so good at using everything. We got, what kind of tools we got in our hands? Our hands, right? We got our hands. All we need. We
That's all
can
we need.
prescribe exercises. We can do soft tissue work. We can mobilize joints, right?
Do you do a lot of manipulation?
So I only do, I mean, the reason why, okay, so from US, obviously we're both trained in manipulating, right? Yeah.
What for the audience? What's manipulation?
Well, manipulation. Okay. How are you going to explain that? How would we explain manipulation?
Okay,
Okay,
so
in layman's lame term, when people go to
I
chiropractor, okay, you got it.
I got it. So in physical therapy, there's 5 different grades of moving of manual therapy, for example. So the first 2, grades 1 and 2, that's for pain. So when I talk about moving, like not technically moving the joints, because that's a hard thing to say. Are we really moving the joints?
Yeah, actually. Well,
Yes.
actually,
Yeah.
I don't know. One of my clinical instructors said, what was it, 1/8 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch?
Yeah. So we
Yeah.
we are creating movement in the joint. Yes. But are we moving them where we're putting them back to place? Anyway, so 5 different grades. So the first 2 is for pain. 3 and 4 is for creating more range of motion. And then the 5, what we were talking about, is manipulation. So that's when you go to the very end of the end range of the joint and then give it a little oomph. So,
I'm actually
so
impressed that you remember all your grades, having done acute care all this long.
come on,
Oh,
man.
look at that look,
So I'm a
though.
manual therapist through and through.
I know.
So manipulation, people think of it as like cracking my bones, or that. When you think of that, that's what a manipulation is. So so let me ask you again, do you do a lot of manipulations?
Do I crack a lot of bones?
Do you crack a lot of bones?
So I only do thoracic manips and
Okay.
lumbar facet gapping manips.
Okay.
And the reason for that is not because I don't believe in manips. They have their place.
Mm-hmm.
I personally, um, it's on a patient by patient basis. You have to
Right.
know your audience, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know who you're working with. And you got to kind of see it in them whether this is going to benefit. Like, you'll know when you work with them. You're
That's
like, you know
right.
what? This person, boom. Like they're like, I did it yesterday on someone. They're like, oh, I'm good, right? They just jumped it. They're like, I'm good. Like, oh, I love that, right? He goes, why did you do that to me before? And I'm like, because there was no indication for me to,
Right.
right? I'm really big on trying to find a reason for doing something and not just doing it.
Not just doing it just to do it.
Yeah, so let's say I'm assessing like their spinal opening in different segments, and I go, oh, this one is not really moving so hot, right? And I go, okay, let's do a facet gapping manip, and then boom, it's moving all of a sudden. And I don't do a lot of cervical. Actually, I don't do any cervical because it's not, in Canada we have to be rostered, right? You have to be rostered. That means you need to prove you had the education to do it. And when I filled it out, I said no cervical. I'm not about to take that 1 in 14 million chance. Right? That's a statistic. That's a statistic on it, right? That is the statistic on the cervical.
I mean, I don't know the
manips.
exact number, but sure.
I think I read it.
I trust you.
I could pull it up. I was 1 in 14 million.
I trust you.
Thanks, man. But no, I just do cervical and thoracic and lumbar. But I know you do all of it. You're all about the manip life.
I mean, it depends what setting I'm in. Right? Like,
geriatric population, little quick cervical manip, and they're walking again, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So
I'm just kidding, guys. Don't take that as literal knowledge. I'm just
in the acute setting. I can say that I have not done any manipulations. In the sniff setting, I have done a couple, and then an outpatient.
Oh, in sniff, you've done a couple.
Yeah, I've done a couple in sniff. Yeah. If they're indicated, absolutely.
Really? Like, are we talking like thoracic, lumbar, sacral? What's going on? What kind of are we doing?
What kind of manipulations? So,
or is this on just like friends kind of thing?
No. Like, for example, like a knee patient, like status post like a total knee or something, and I see they have decreased range of motion in their ankle, because as you know. With surgery and stuff can happen, and then you start compensating and start doing all these things. So I like to, even if they're
Yeah.
coming in for their knee, I like to do the whole
See,
whole
that's what I
body.
forgot, that we're training doing extremity min-ups. But in Canada, like, you're restricted. You cannot do any extremity min-ups.
Oh, you can only do
Yeah. So
the axial
that
spine.
knowledge has like literally evaporated. It's gone.
Oh,
So I
really?
don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
But I forgot that you could obviously do the ankle.
Yeah, so like an ankle. I haven't done any cervical in a sniff.
I hope not.
um, yeah, too much arthritis, it'd be too painful.
Honestly,
I
yeah.
just stick to like the grade 3s and 4s. And then an outpatient, I do them all the time. Again, like Payman said, it's not for every patient. I don't do it for every patient. It's got to be indicated. They have to tolerate other stuff first. Like, I'm not going to go in their first visit and crack their neck. There's no way. I got to make sure that they tolerate everything all right and see that they're appropriate for it.
And I think, it's like I said, you just got to form your own treatment techniques, right? I mean,
Right.
I got people asking me like, what do I have so many people, online will always ask me hey, I got this problem, what do I do for it? Right.
It's hard. It's hard
And
to see
I'm
online.
like, and they go, but I have this. I'm like, I don't know. And they go, but I have a cervical disc bulge. And I go, or they say I have sciatica. This is the greatest one, right? This is the best one.
Sciatica. I had this yesterday. My friend.
Did you?
My friend. Yeah. But you go.
Okay, so they say I have sciatica, right?
Uh-huh.
And I go, okay. They go, I have and I go, I don't know where sciatica is coming from. He goes, what do you mean? It's coming from the back. And I'm like, okay, could be coming from the back, could be coming from a nerve root impingement, could be coming from stenosis, could be coming from your actual sciatic nerve being tight, could be coming from your piriformis being tight. And if I give you an exercise for one, you're gonna get worse than the other. And it's like, I think, and that's why I said we're really good at figuring out what's going on with people through a thorough assessment, right?
Right.
But yeah.
Have you done any like Zoom calls or stuff like that, like that kind of assessment?
I
like,
haven't done any virtual assessments because
virtual?
Okay, so this is kind of like a hot topic. I don't know if you want to talk about this on like a later podcast.
No, I don't think we have time to do that.
You want to talk about it right now?
We could talk about it later. We don't have time to talk about it.
I honestly think that virtual care and how that kind of plays a role in physical therapy is a topic of its own. Granted, I'm on a Facebook group on virtual care, but I haven't really. I have my own opinions on it. It's a good and bad. So it's not like I'm going to bash on virtual care, but I think it has a place in physical.
I completely agree. I completely agree.
Well, maybe we'll say that for another day.
Right? We did. I think this is good for the first one.
I think we rambled on a little bit all over the place. Yeah.
But let me ask you one last question though, Payman. And so you've been a physical therapist now for what, 2?
Well, I would say
2.5 years.
I'd say 1.5 because I spent 6 months studying for the Canadian exam, and as soon as I finished it, I passed it.
But technically, you were licensed and everything.
Yeah. I mean, if you include clinicals, which basically we were working, right?
Right.
I mean, you could say 2.5.
So 2.5 years.
Yeah.
What is the best advice that you've been given?
As far as what?
As just what is the best advice that you have gotten as a physical therapist or anything?
Oh man.
Or like, what advice do you have for people that are listening
about physical therapy?
I mean, about anything. So let me go.
Okay. That's good.
Let me go.
I got one.
Okay.
I got one. It didn't take long, but I got one.
Okay, let's hear it.
Guys, don't use pain. This is for all the clients actually, or anyone for that matter. Do not use pain as the indicator for success. Decreased pain levels are not success. Increased function is success. Okay. So what you want to do in life is that I would rather personally have 5 out of 10 pain and have full motion than have 0 out of 10 pain and not be able to lift my arm. So I want everyone to realize this. This is really important. Increased function as success, not decreased pain. And
I love that. Yeah. That is such good advice, Payman.
Thanks, man.
I love that.
Spot. No, I've been meaning to tell it. I wrote that down somewhere. I just can't find it. But no, honestly, so many times people are focused on pain, and they come to me and they say, "Payman, my pain is not getting better." And I test their function, and they're much better. And I go, "Dude, look, you can lift your arm. You can reach for stuff.
You weren't able to do that before."
No, you couldn't do that before. And they're like, "But I have the pain." I'm like, "The pain will subside. over time as your function continues to improve.
Yes.
And you know, I'll tell a story about my shoulder and the pain level and function another time. I don't want to keep babbling on. But yeah,
My advice for you guys, and I learned this while we were in school. Actually, I went to a talk, and then one of the teachers said this, and it really stuck with me. Was to always be on. So
always be on. Okay.
always be on. So you should always put your best self out there, right? Like you are not allowed. You as a physical therapist can't show that you are having a bad day, because patients are coming to you. People are coming for you because they have pain, or they can't do this, they can't do that. So even if you're having a bad day, you cannot show it. You have to be at your best. You have to always be on. You have to always be performing. It's like a performance, right? You
And
have
that's
to
hard
be
to
on
do.
stage.
That is
It's
hard to
hard.
do.
It's
Yeah.
hard. But you need to realize, like, people are coming to you. You have to be on your A game. You can't have a bad day.
And I think
And
honestly,
you can have a bad day, but you can't show it.
and honestly, I think that kind of leads into the fact of that we spend so much time with them that there's, you know, this is another podcast topic. There's that emotional connection, right?
That's right.
That forms, and the trust that forms, and ultimately, you know, you're listening to their problems sometimes, and a little bit of talk and, you know, connection goes a long way. And
Absolutely.
being on helps you achieve that connection with them, and maybe shine that candle, right? Or
Absolutely.
light them up with the candle, or whatever. I don't know what the saying is. I don't know what the saying is, but it's
I don't know what the saying is either.
Or you know, what is it? Shine a candle, or put a candle, or shine a flashlight in their darkness, something like that. But you guys get to.
Yeah, we're not really good at that here.
No. That's
we're not
us.
good at sayings.
That's not us. But yeah, I think we're pretty good. I think we covered, you know, a lot of random stuff, and I thought it was
super random, guys. Again, we're just having a chat. Again, we've got topics in mind, but we're
trying to figure it out. Again, the goal is to spread PT, anything from, you know, PT experiences to PT pathologies to just regular chit chat, right? So we hope you guys tune in again. Yeah.
And this is the first one. It was kind of an introduction. Like we said earlier, we do have topics that we're going to talk about. People have reached out to us on different social media. So if there is something that you want us to talk about, please let us know.
How do they let us know, Nico?
We're on Instagram.
What is
it? PT.
Wait, we have an Instagram.
We have an email. We have an Instagram at PT Chit Chat. We have Gmail, ptchitchat@gmail.com. And this will also, not only will this be on wherever you stream your I was going to say audiobooks, where you stream your podcast, but this will also be on YouTube. So you can comment, or you can just message us on our private personal pages.
Yeah, we can always get back to you guys. And of course, you know, but yeah, it's been real fun, this one. Definitely, like I said, all over the place, but I think we'll catch them in the next one, right?
Yeah. All right, guys. See you next week.
See you guys.
Bye.